Hi, I'm Rux, and today we going to have a discussion video of the possibility of bosses being playable bosses. I know it's kind of weird because they bosses not classes, but let's talk bosses that probably have a good possibility to becoming playable bosses in the near future, and hey, even Zombot, and I will tell you why Zombot will work well as a playable vehicle later, but first yet discuss the of bosses being playable bosses. So the reason why I see bosses being playable bosses is because in the story mode bosses that are actually in Team Vanquish and Turf Takeover, but the first one is Baron Von Bats. He was in the map that I forgot what is called, but yes, Baron Von Bats was in this map teleporting but only on story mode, and then we have a Sunflower Queen that also in Team Vanquish and that feel like a multiplayer because taking out Sunflower Queen was very hard because the Sunflower was very powerful and it felt like you on crazy trying to take out the Sunflower Queen such as multiplayer. And anyway, is it possible to add bosses into multiplayer? Is it possible to play as bosses? Now don't get me wrong, there was a hacker that played all the bosses in Garden Warfare 2 and that's as Mr. PVZ Gamer. Mr. PVZ Gamer do a lot of hacking, like having a robot as a playable characters, having a Hypno Shroom as a playable characters, and even having Royal Hypno Flower and the Yeti King as playable characters. What the heck, holy crap, Royal Hypno Flower is a powerful flower, and the Yeti is a powerful ice boss, and Mr. PVZ Gamer, if you watching this, please don't do it on multiplayer, otherwise you will get banned from Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare 2 EA and PopCap. Don't get me wrong, PopCap is back, so I don't think you should showcase bosses being playable in multiplayer. But I'm seeing PopCap going for a boss update in the near future. You never, because my thoughts is having a boss Vanquish or bosses vs Guardians is a game mode that can replace Cats vs Dino, and a game mode that can be similar to the Star Wars game called Star Wars Battlefront, because the reason why I'm seeing bosses being playable is because Cats vs Dinos, Cat and Dino is kind of like bosses because you have 2000 health like boss mode in Garden Warfare 1, but you also have infinity time in Garden Warfare 2. Infinite time is like you playing as a dino machine on the plants side, and for the zombies you playing as a cat robot, and also if you in wave 1 you go against gnomes, and then wave 2 you go against shooting gnomes, and then wave 3 you go against shielded gnomes, and then wave 4 you go against explodey gnomes, and then wave 5 you go against the King Namus, which is powerful. What if they add something to replace infinite time like Boss Ops? Boss Ops will be similar to infinity time because, in Wave 1 in Boss Ops, you will be going against all of spawnables such as weeds and zombies and more like a healer's spawnables. In Wave 2 you will be going against all the heroes classes such as a Foot Soldier, Z-Mech, Electric Sild, Nightcap, Colonel Corn, Pea-Shooter, and more. Wave 3 is more of the plants and zombies going to come. Wave 4 you will be going against more other bosses such as Gargantuar and Giga Torchwood, along with the spawnable and heroes and villains classes, and then wave 5 is when you will be getting stronger and powerful bosses, such as for the zombies, will be Blightcap, maybe a giant pumpkin squash that will be similar to Cosmic Brains, and maybe Dreadwood of some form, and or maybe a giant banana from PvZ heroes that can similar to giant barbecue corn, and we have Imitator, which he will imitates a lot of zombies bosses and even imitate himself into Zombot, the strongest and powerful in PvZ, and we have, and then for the plants. And I have to say of course Zombot, because this thing is a main strongest and powerful boss in PvZ. We also have a Yeti King who is a stronger and powerful ice boss in PvZ. Maybe major problem, maybe he might be a stronger and powerful fire boss PvZ too. Possibly Old Cool's boss can also have some form like Dreadwood. But I do think that will be an insane game mode that would replace infinity time, because I don't think infinite time will never return in battle for Neighborville, but yeah, Boss Ops will be a game mode you can play as bosses. Next boss game mode is Bosses vs Guardians. Bosses vs Guardians can definitely be similar to PvP Battle Arena and Cat vs Dino. It can also replace Cat vs Dino because if you die you won't respawn. Same for PvP Battle Arena. And next Boss Hunt. Now don't think this is a returning game mode, is a different game mode similar to Star Wars Battlefront. If the hero taking out you will gain more points, and you, if you are the first person who have a lot of points, you will get to play as a hero. Same for Boss Hunt. Let's say if you took down player boss you will gain more points. And if you gain more points you get to play as a boss. Boss Hunt will be a cool game mode. Now Team Vanquish and Turf Takeover. I think bosses can easily work well in Turf Takeover. Bosses can be like the ATST from Star Wars Battlefront. Bosses can strike things with their abilities like falling ice cubes and fires. Bosses can destroy things in Turf Takeover just like ATST. The Gargantuar can destroy things. The Giga Torchwood can destroy things. Now the reason why Zombot should be playable because Zombot will be like the AT-AT from Star Wars Battlefront. Like bosses can be like the ATST in Turf Takeover, but Zombot can be an indestructible robot in Turf Takeover just like the AT-AT. They should add something that can replace Herbal Assault and that is Zombot Assault. Add Zombot Assault in Turf Takeover, add something shield and protect the Zombot, and once the shield taken out the plants team is going to take out the Zombot. Once the Zombot destroyed the plants team will win. If the Zombot destroyed like Crazy Dave Band the zombies team will win, so please put Zombot Assault in Turf Takeover. And last thing and that's is Boss Vanquish. Boss Vanquish can be similar to Team Vanquish. Boss Vanquish will cool game mode. You get to play as a giant laser bean, a giant sunflower, a giant squash, a giant flaming tree monster, and even a giant pickle boss, and other zombies bosses such as Gargantuar Prime and more. But Boss Vanquish will a cool game mode. So yeah, I hope you enjoy, like and subscribe. You want bosses to be playable, and so yes, thanks for watching. Peace.